Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD, aka He Who Pods. Glasses on today. Big glare, aka Rearview Mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D, aka the real king of R&B, aka Vamoose.
Yeah.
Poof. Vamoose.
Not only did you vamoose, but so did your bun.
So did my bun.
It was a double entendre. For those listening, you ain't see it. You should go watch it. But anyway,
Definitely go watch it.
yeah. Anywho's,
Mm-hmm.
uh-oh. You good over there? It's a lot of going on.
It's promo for the new movie.
Holler.
Absolutely not. I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. I saw
They're
that
gonna be
trailer
listening to
again.
this.
Okay, just for context, for those who haven't seen it, what is it even called? I don't even remember what it's called. The movie with the lady Megan Fahey. Megan Fahey is the star of the movie.
I don't know who that is.
You never know people's names. It's Megan Fahey.
I don't.
Um, she's the star of the movie. She gets a text, and they tell her that she's got to kill her date, and she keeps getting these texts.
Oh,
And it
that
goes
dumb movie. I'll tell you what it's called. Hold on.
the whole time you're listening to you're watching the trailer. It's doing that, and that is so jarring.
It's stupid.
So jarring, and then.
Isn't it called Date Night or some dumb shit like
Yeah,
that?
it's like something weird, but she has to kill her date, and if she doesn't kill her date, they're gonna kill her children. It's like it is nuts. Okay.
Oh, it's called Drop.
Drop, yes. And that was I was passing by a television today and it was on and I was like,
Yeah, it's called Drop. Apparently, it's produced by Michael Bay and Jason Blum.
okay.
And Christopher Landon is directing it, which is a horror director. Anyway, whatever. This ain't an ad. They didn't pay us.
This is not
But yeah,
I was
that
kidding about
all
that.
throughout the trailer. It's going.
Yep.
Stupid ass trailer.
I hate that.
But we remembered it, so they did their job.
They did. And I just, I probably won't see it, but
Oh, definitely not watching that. Yeah.
it's like one of those things that I'm curious. I want to know how it ends because I feel like I've already seen the whole movie, but also I don't think I'm sitting through that at home or in the theater. Probably more so in the theater than I would at home. At home, I'm not watching it.
Gotcha.
If I was in the theater because I'm already there, I'd stick it out. But anyway, let's get
Well,
started.
now that that's out the way, let's talk about Amerie. We spoke about yeah. We spoke about Amerie a while ago, and we spoke about the fact that she was hooking up with Troy Taylor, a Grammy Award-winning producer and songwriter, and that they were hooking up to work on a project. The first song came out recently, and it's called Mine, M-I-N-E.
Yep.
It is written by the two of them and produced by Troy Taylor, and it came out a couple days ago. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't remember what day of the week it was or what day of the month it was for a second. I was looking like March 28th. Today is right. Anyway, so we've listened to it, and you want to start or you want me to go?
I think you should start. I feel like I always start the music reviews.
That's why I asked. I figure let you choose.
Yeah, I mean, I do have
Well,
thoughts,
first
so
of all,
please go for it.
definitely do. First of all, I'm happy to get new Amerie music.
Agree. Same
It's
here.
been 7 years since we heard Amerie, and
Yeah.
it's just one thing. It was a long time ago.
That is.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm sure in the comments y'all are gonna tell me that there's been other stuff since then, but
And
that's what
there
we
has.
know her for. Yeah, but that's what we know her for, and that's what most people think of when we hear Amerie. Actually, last time we spoke about Amerie, I spoke about a song I really like from her with Fab on it,
Yeah.
which I always forget the name of. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't remember right now.
So first things first, I'm happy to hear Amerie. Second things is this is the second thing is JD does not know how to talk today. Third thing is uh,
It happens.
the third thing is sometimes when you pod, man, you talk too
Listen,
much.
okay, and just work, and then you talk throughout the day. It's like talking
Right.
is a job. All right.
Yes, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
back to Amerie. I thought it was a good song. Smooth R&B tune. You know what I'm saying? Simple concept, simple beat, nothing too over the top. This was a soft, smooth record, and kind of just easing our way back into Amerie land. So I thought this was good. I am curious, is this setting the tone for the rest of the project? Or is this just the first thing they wanted us to hear?
mm-hmm.
Could be both, but
Could be.
sometimes we hear a single and the single is nothing like the rest of the
That's true.
album. So I'm curious, is this the only soft, smooth Amerie we're going to get, or is there much more to come? It sounds like the two of them work well together. And I mean, we assumed that when we saw the studio clip and the pictures, it looked like they were in there gelling.
Yeah.
And so I always say, I think those make the best projects when the producer and the artist are physically working together, or even if it's long distance communicating on a regular basis. I think it brings out the best out of both people because you're able to challenge each other
Mm-hmm.
and you get to know each other a little different than somebody just sending you a beat and you saying, "Oh, I like this beat." You're kind of able to build around each other in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I thought this was really good. I've listened to it a couple times since it dropped, and I'm excited to hear what else Amerie has, coming down the pipeline.
Agree. It's a great song. I did feel that same way, that it's smooth, it's easy, it has a nice vibe to it. I will say, if this is the vibe of the upcoming project, I'm locked in.
Lots of play value,
Yeah.
lots of replay value.
I would love that. Um I thought it was great. Here comes Debbie Downer. The funny thing is that you are so technical, like, music technically, and I don't, right? Like, I just know music from, we always say that, like, I'm heart centered when I do my reviews, and you are um and, and you are more scientific about your music
But I
reviews.
think that's what makes our music reviews good.
I agree, but I have to say, this is probably more technical than it is that. I, d- I actually don't like the repetition in the chorus, in the hook.
Okay,
I just, something about it is kind of annoying to me. Um,
that's fair.
it sounds a little weird. Like, the first time she does it, it's cool, and then after that, I'm like, I just kind of wish that it didn't do that. That's my only critique. I feel like the song otherwise is very smooth, and like you said, it's soft, and it creates this vibe. It kind of puts you in a state, and I love it. In fact, just listening to it before we started to record, I actually ran it back a second time because I was like, yeah, okay. No, I do remember that I listened to this when it came out a few days ago, but I was like,
Right.
man, let me hear that again. I just, let me just, it's a very easy listen. And that's a
Agreed.
good thing. That's my only
I agree.
critique. I don't, other than that, I'm fine with it. I think it's great, and I'm excited for more if this is where we're starting. So, yeah, but I just had that one little, like, I don't know what
And
happened
that's okay.
there. Um, yeah, every time I hear it, I'm like, I feel like this could have been different. Um, but that's it. Other than that, I'm into
I
it.
mean, I hear what you're saying, and I recognize that as a songwriter. as an artist, it didn't bother me only because this is the first single, and you want to have that repetitive part that is going to keep
It's
people
catchy.
kind of remembering it, right? You want to have that catchy thing. And I think, especially because this is a softer, smoother record, it makes sense. Something like a One Thing, which is a big, bold sound, you're going to remember the big, bold sound regardless of what the person is singing, right? Like there's certain beats that they grab you from the beginning, and you're going to remember, oh man, that beat, oh, that was crazy. And I think because this is a softer, smoother tune. Uh-oh, what happened? Go ahead. I see your face. Go ahead.
She likes repetition.
But I think that's part of good songwriting, and that's kind of what I'm getting to. I think different strokes for different folks, and I totally understand what you're saying. I'm not even disagreeing. I'm just saying I can understand why this would be on a single.
Yes,
I think
totally
album
understand.
cuts. Yeah, I think an album cut is something where you may not do it as much, but I think when you're presenting a new body of work to an audience, especially for her, this could be a brand new audience. We don't know how many fans from yesteryear are returning like we are. There
Right.
could be just a brand new Amerie listener, and so you want to make sure as a single that that single is going to, one, grab the attention of the audience, two, be memorable, like the trailer we were just making fun of, right? And three, stick to their brain. So it's like,
Yeah.
I may not remember what the song is called, but I will remember that repetitive part that I keep hearing over and over and over again.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm with that. I totally understand. I'm just the
But
reason
I
I
think
said
it's a
that
fair
is because
critique. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
the reason I said that though is because I started to think back to all her singles and they are repetitive.
But the one with her and Fab isn't really, and that was a single. It had a video and everything.
I have to listen to that. I thought about One Thing. I thought about Why Don't We
One
Fall in
thing,
Love.
definitely. Yeah.
Why don't we? Why don't we? Why don't we? Why don't we? Why don't we?
Part of good songwriting.
I'm not saying it doesn't work all the time. I'm just saying this time I wish that it was a little bit more creative. But you know what? I am not a
It's called More
songwriter.
Than Love, her and Fab.
Yes, I
Let
do
me see if
remember
the hook
that.
is.
But yeah,
Oh, it's no lyrics. I was going to pull it up.
because we're also talking about an artist that
Oh, you're right. Because the hook says, how could we make it love if we don't think? How could we make it love? How could we make it love?
she
How
repeats
could
a
we
lot.
make it love more than love? It's good songwriting, man. I agree with you, but I also see the other side. I think it's a fair critique.
I mean, I just feel like years later, we can have that conversation off pod. Um, let's keep it moving.
No, we got a platform. That's what this is for. Bring it to me.
Years later, is it lazy or is it still good songwriting? Is it just like because it feels like
Okay, go.
filler when you know what I mean?
Say more words.
It feels like it feels like uh the hook is being padded with filler, not more words. It's a technique,
Um,
right? Like I'm with you that it's a technique. It's a songwriting technique.
mhm,
And I guess if someone I guess people are entitled to have that style, right?
mhm.
But is that a is that an indicator? Like if that is how it goes all the time, is it just good technique?
But that's what I'm saying.
Or
Is it all the time or is it only on singles? Because that matters.
oh well, maybe it is, and I don't know. I would have to do a deeper dive into album cuts to be able to answer that question. So I don't know.
Because,
I'm
for
just asking.
example,
I'm not a songwriter, so I want to be clear that I'm just here kind of speculating. I didn't care for it in the new song, but I'm not saying that she's a poor songwriter or anything like that, and I'm not saying that she makes poor music either. I'm
mhm,
just asking questions because it was something that kind of irked me listening to this song. And now that we're sitting here having a conversation about it, I'm realizing that her music that her singles, yeah,
Singles.
they all have that kind of fluffy, repetitive hook.
Well, first, let me read you some lyrics here, and then I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because I'm bad, I'm bad. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know it. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know, really bad. And the whole world has to answer right now. Just to tell you once again, who's bad?
Same thing. Same thing
I know.
there.
That's why I purposely went there. This is a classic Michael Jackson single from 1987.
No, I know exactly what it is.
And
As soon as you
this
said I'm
was
bad, I was like, all right. This is what we're
right.
doing. You're gonna try to shut me down with Michael Jackson.
No, 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 no. My question is, well, that's why I say I want to read this and then ask you a question. My question is, what's the point of a hook on a single?
To hook.
To hook, right? And so if repetition is what does that, is it lazy or is it smart or is it somewhere in the middle?
I
I don't
think
know the answer. I'm asking you. I think this is a person to person preference.
I don't think that I can call it lazy
Mhm.
because I don't think that I have the knowledge to be able to call it lazy, which is why I'm
Okay.
asking questions. I'm asking questions because I don't know enough about the ins and outs of songwriting,
Hmm.
and just making music, period, to where
Hmm.
people will consume it.
Hmm.
So I don't feel like I'm the appropriate person to make that determination. What I can say is I think that Amerie is talented enough that a more a more
Complex.
complex, that's the word, a more complex hook is okay for her. I am just, I guess I'm trying to speak to her abilities, but I also don't want to say that in a way that makes it seem like this was not good enough, because
Hmm.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I actually enjoyed the song. It was just
Hmm.
that piece where I was like, I don't really love that. But and then we're sitting here and we're talking about it, and I'm like, all her singles kind of do that sort of thing. They sound completely different from one another, but they do that sort of thing. So where's that coming from? How does that happen? But I think you're right that it's a songwriting technique, and
Yeah.
it's perfectly fine for it to happen. I just wonder how much of it, I guess my brain always goes to, I wonder what was going on behind the scenes. Sometimes today we hear about how um we hear about artists who are like, what did Ghostface just say? Ghostface said he was saying nonsense on his songs. Meanwhile, meanwhile his fans were like, "Oh my gosh, I thought that was so profound." So I guess that's just me being curious and wanting to know, like, how much of this is a songwriting technique. We need to do this to hook people in, versus how much of it is, man, I don't even know what else to say here. Why don't we just repeat that line again?
I think it. I think How do I answer as a from? Okay, here's my perspective as a songwriter. I think sometimes you have a song where I don't need to say much on this hook. For whatever reason, it could be that the beat is so strong. It could be that the record is just so strong that it taps into a very specific emotion, whatever emotion that is.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, you kind of want to just let things breathe, so to speak. So
Okay.
you like,
Yeah.
right? So for example, something that like if I'm doing a political record,
Mm-hmm.
something that's like really, really heavy politics, I may not want the hook to be so jam packed because
Okay.
of the fact that this is already such a jam packed, deep thinking record. It's already invoking so many emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other times, maybe the beat is so bouncy and catchy, like a one thing, right? Amerie one thing. You feel like it don't really matter what I say here. I don't really need to do much because I already got niggas. The hook is dope. Excuse me. The beat is so strong, so dope. We know we killed the verses, whoever we is, right? I'm speaking in a general sense now, not just me. And it's like, I mean, we don't really need to do much here, right? Or in records where there's a strong sample, for now I'm speaking more so like to a rapper, MC, you might have a hook that has a sample saying stuff already. You might feel like I don't need to even write a hook because the beat is saying tune in the weeknights, tune in the weeknights, tune in the weeknights, tune in the weeknights. Well, if it's
That's my
saying tune in the
jam.
weeknights, exactly. If the beat is saying tune in the weeknights, what do I need to say there? Just the
Yeah.
time. Maybe something quick in the middle to fill a gap, but you don't really need to do much there. So I think that's my perspective as a songwriter. I think it goes on a case by case basis. Now, I would call it laziness if we listen to an entire Amerie project and that's how most of the hooks are.
Yeah.
If this is simply a strategy for singles and that's what the label, the songwriting team, her management, whoever is suggesting she does or pushing her to do, I don't think it's a bad thing if it's working.
Sure. And it has
Because
worked,
if it,
right?
right, and that's what I'm about to say. If it's working, if it's not working, if the data is telling you otherwise, then perhaps it's time to change it. But I think, especially the fact, going back to what I said, I think especially the fact that we don't know who Amerie's audience is today. It's
Right.
been so long.
Yeah.
Even I just looked. Her last project was like 2018. I think it was just a song, to be honest. I didn't click on it, but the last release before this was 2018. That's quite some time ago. So all of that to say, if this is an attempt to reach new audiences and old audiences, I think is smart today in 2025. Should it be everything she does her entire career moving forward? I don't know. Her team, the data would have to make that decision. But I do think, yeah, it would be lazy if we hear everything on the project sounding that way.
Yeah. Um yeah. I totally understand that, and that makes perfect sense, which is why I defer to the music experts because
But I think it was a great critique. I don't think it's again. I think it's a fair critique. I don't think you were just picking on her and saying like, "I'm gonna nitpick and find one bad thing about the record." Sometimes we do that as consumers, but it didn't come off that way to me. I mean, if other people feel that way, they can say so, but I didn't get that vibe.
yeah, and I mean, I think my point is here is that even though I think the song was so good, right? That even though that happened, that's not deterring me from listening to it. I totally want to hear this again, and I totally
Right.
will listen to this again. So, it's for whatever it's worth. That was my opinion, but um, let's move on. Let's do Dreamville today, since
All right, that's what I thought.
we're coming off the weekend. Dreamville Fest just happened. J. Cole did
Okay.
his
I mean,
big splashy performance, which let me tell you something about Jermaine. Okay, I just love seeing him perform. How have I never seen him live? I
I
just
don't know.
I'm I'm so obsessed with his stage performances. I think they're so good. And that I feel like that's saying a lot for a rapper too, because every rapper's not Offset. They're not all getting on stage and doing a dance routine.
Well said. I was a little nervous the way you was starting it,
No,
but
I think that
that was
people.
well said.
I don't think people look forward to. I think people look forward to rap performances, but I don't think people look forward to like a performance. You know what I mean? Like I think they're looking forward to the music and the stage presence. They're not. You're not gonna get, like I said, you're not gonna get a dance routine. You're not gonna get all of these
Mhm.
extra things. I mean, I went to see Jay Z years ago, and it was just Jay Z on stage, just
Yeah.
grabbing his crotch and doing what he does and doing that little dip thing he likes to do, and that was the performance. And that's fine. I enjoyed myself. I had a wonderful time. Is it the best concert I've ever been to? No, but I just think when you're going to see hip hop, it's different. It's different.
Sure.
So you don't like what I'm saying?
I think each genre of music brings different expectations. If
Yes,
I go to a heavy metal concert, I'm expecting a very different show than if I go to an R&B concert. And when I go to an
absolutely.
R&B concert, I expect a very different show than when I go to see a pop act, which I don't see many pop acts, but just comparison here.
I agree with
So
you.
yeah,
Which is,
I understand what you're saying. I do think that in all genres there are levels,
hmm,
and I think in all genres fans have preferences. Some people want to see Offset do an entire dance routine.
hmm.
Some people, and I've seen this, some people are saying, "Nigga, stop dancing and rap."
I,
I didn't come here to watch you
yes.
dance like Michael Jackson. So that's my thought.
All of that to say, oh, were you about to say something else?
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say J. Cole is an amazing performer, but he also does not jump up and down all the time or do dance routines.
Exactly.
Um, that's all I was gonna say.
That's my point. That's what I was gonna say. All of that to say that that's not what he doesn't get up there and do, these uh, routines or whatever it is, but he does have a very strong stage presence. I enjoy
Yes,
watching him perform. I think he's a great performer. I think he's very
I'll agree.
engaging. He talks to his audience, not at them.
Yeah,
He enjoys his music. I say that all the time. I think watching someone who enjoys their own music perform their music is way better. You can tell the difference between the artists that love their music and love performing it versus the ones who don't. It shows. Even
yeah.
if they're giving it their best, it shows. And I think J. Cole is just one of those people who he has this connection with his fans, and he
Hmm.
gets up there and he has this connection with his music. So when he gets on stage, he's putting his best foot forward. He doesn't need a dance routine. This is where I was trying to go with this. He doesn't need any of that, right? And that's not the expectation, but certain artists kind of need extras. He's not a guy who needs extras, and that's the point that I was trying to make. I just think he's a great performer. I'm always in at like I said, I've never been to one of his live shows, but I've watched at this point I've watched plenty of his live shows and videos, and man, I want to be in the building. Like, sign me up because
Right,
he's so good. And every hip hop artist doesn't engage you like that.
right.
That's what I'm trying to say. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. Well, here's one of the things J. Cole just said at Dreamville Festival.
It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot because we want to put on some amazing shit for y'all. We want to do it for Carolina. You know what I mean? We love being able to offer that and bring amazing artists. There should be a lot. So, but as I'm walking around today, I'm seeing people. It's like 73 people was like, "Cool, this can't be the last one." We feel like niggas was telling me that. But I'm gonna just let y'all know our plan. We still gonna bring some shit. This festival will exist. It might not have the motherfucking Dreamville Festival name on it, but we will be back with this feel. When y'all out here, I don't know if y'all feel it, but to me this shit feel like a cookout motherfucking family reunion. There's so much love in this bitch. There's so many black people in this motherfucking festival.
Okay. So, what is that about? J. Cole is talking about the quote unquote end of Dreamville Fest, excuse me. Dreamville Fest was announced as the fifth and final Dreamville Festival. which happened just this weekend when we're recording it. However, another announcement was made just as Dreamville Fest was about to happen. And that's what J. Cole is addressing. It seems that Dreamville and Live Nation have signed a deal with North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina specifically, if I understand correctly,
Dorothy Dix
to
Park,
continue. What was that?
Dorothy Dix Park, I think is what.
Well, that's the location. But I think they signed a deal with the city specifically, is my understanding. And the concert, the festival will continue under a new name.
Mm-hmm.
And the article said that who knows? J. Cole may be the headliner. He may not. He may perform. He may not. But we love what's going on, and we will continue to bring you this festival in new and different ways, because we understand that not only the people of North Carolina, not only the people of Raleigh, but people all over the United States come to this festival, love this festival, support this festival and what it does. And we want to keep that same vibe going.
Yeah. First of all, we said this the other day about deals. So I'm going to say this again.
Sure did.
Deals don't happen quickly.
Right.
They can. Just want to be clear, because don't come in the comments telling me about deals. I work in sales. Leave me alone. Deals don't happen that quickly. Yes. Can a deal be made in an hour or two? Absolutely. We know this. But typically, huge deals that are worth a lot of money don't happen
like this one.
In an hour or a couple of hours. It's rare.
Yeah.
So when I tell you that I was annoyed when I saw this article, because for weeks, first of all, y'all took forever to announce the lineup for Dreamville Fest. That's the first thing.
Oh my God. Forever and a day.
I might have went.
Same.
But y'all took forever. And then you kept saying it was the last one. And then hours before people arrive at the park, you announce,
right,
there's a new deal for 4 years. 4. Again, I just want to say a 4-year deal doesn't get done in an hour or two.
No, especially now with a conglomerate like Live Nation.
So we have to assume that this has been in the works for a while. Maybe part of it was they didn't know the status of the deal.
Possible.
Maybe that's a possibility. But
maybe they was waiting for the ticket sales to finalize the deal to say, hey, look
at how many people we brought numbers. In. Right. But I am so tired of publicity stunts. I am so tired of nonsense. I am so tired of being bamboozled. I am tired, okay? Just give it to me straight. Just tell me what it is. Just give it to me straight. I'm tired of it, Just Hilarious and Lauren LaRosa. Give it to me straight. Just tell me what the real is, because I am so tired of y'all making us think that things are in disarray, or something is wrong, or something is going away, and then coming back to us 5 seconds later and telling us, psych!
The job is mine.
Tired. I am tired.
Got you.
I'm not gonna lie though. If the lineup is good next year,
and announced early enough,
I might can make it out there.
To Rally Fest or whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah. Whatever it's going to be called. Well, I think that's the big thing here, is that it's not going to be Dreamville centered. That's what it seems like. It seems like they're getting away from putting that pressure on Dreamville artists and J. Cole, and this will be probably a lot wider, as we've seen with other festivals. So that's what's going on there. And I don't think the girlies are happy, to be honest. From what I've seen on the internet, they're not happy about this, because people were going to Dreamville Fest because of Dreamville.
Right, and that's what I was about to say. Them widening the scope might change the whole situation. And
Absolutely.
actually, now that you say that, maybe that's the reason not to go next year.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're absolutely
Cause
right.
that,
I'm
cause
thinking
that
about it
first
now too.
one,
I'm
it's
like,
like when the new phone comes out or the
yeah,
new device, like the new PlayStation come out. You don't get the first one. You wait till that second batch comes out.
yeah, yeah. And it's kind of like Roots Picnic. I've gone multiple times. The first time I went, it was so chill and so vibey and so cute.
That
and I,
must have been a long time ago.
yeah. But that's the thing. Festivals change over time, especially these very niche type of festivals where they have like a specific vibe going and it's not any and everybody, and then it kind of just it grows, and it should grow. Like I want nothing more for our culture than to have these things grow because it's a beautiful thing. But at the same
Agreed.
time, I'm the girl that wants it when it's a little bit more indie. So,
Got it.
you know, but it is what it is. I know we got to get out of here.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, I agree. It's messed up that they pitched it as the final, and technically it is the final, right? Because it won't be Dreamville Fest. It'll be something else. But they gassed us to say something very old.
They can call it something like Raleigh Rave or some, something.
Yeah, yeah, they
Anyway,
gassed us, and
they did.
I'm mad they gassed us.
Me too.
So congratulations to J. Cole and Dreamville Fest on the new deal. And props to Raleigh, North Carolina for recognizing what this festival has done and keeping that going.
Yeah, y'all
Um,
did that.
that's what I'll say on a positive note.
Uh huh. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Weeknights. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.